Welcome to Our Road to Success, the podcast where we chronicle our journey through this mad roadmap to the American dream. My name is Iggy Kid. I'm a professional freelance voiceover actor, musician, and writer, coming to you with my co-host.
Christian Hansen, and I am someone I am someone chasing the dream of having an animation channel on YouTube going. I do a lot of other things as well, but that's pretty much the gist of why I'm on this show. So anyway, let's get the show going.
Yep, it's gonna be pretty chill on my end, because it's like 3:16 here, and I got up at like 10:30 last night, so I'm trying to stay up to at least have a semblance of a normal sleep schedule. But we're doing it earlier than usual still.
Whoa, excuse me. Jeez.
It's all good. I gotta apologize if there's thunder in the background. It was thundering earlier. I don't know if that's gonna continue, but you know, could be worse. I hear
so
some
it is
now.
over here.
And yeah, I fucked up my shoulder somehow. I don't know what I did. I think I just slept on it weird, but it's hurt like hell all day.
So it's actually kind of funny that you mentioned that you are sleepy because I am over here jittery as hell. I drank a gallon of Red Bull.
A gallon.
A gallon, yeah.
How many?
I have
How
one of
many
these,
is that?
20 packs right next to me.
Right.
Like all day, I've just been like, okay, this one's done. Next one.
Yep.
Chug. This one's done. Next one. Going. And I've been doing this like I've noticed this is the only way I keep myself awake. I'll bring this up in the show later, but like I have this weird sleep issue all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep all the fucking time, and it's bad. And pretty much just putting myself through like so much caffeine that it should logically kill me is the only way to keep myself awake.
You're gonna make your fucking heart explode. And like, if the sleeping isn't a symptom of diabetes, I mean, you're riding down that road.
Oh boy, this is gonna be fun then.
Yep.
I don't fucking know. I mean, fucking President Teddy Roosevelt drank a gallon of coffee a day.
Yeah, really?
I'm serious.
Damn.
It's one of the reasons why he was so fucking crazy in office. And sometimes he drank 3 gallons daily.
Wow.
Like,
I mean,
holy shit.
whatever you gotta do to get through. We all got our vices. I've had a coffee before this, and it's really doing nothing. Honestly, most times caffeine doesn't do anything for me. There have been like there was one specific time I remember where I had like a Rockstar, Juiced or whatever, the orange one, before work, and I don't know, but it was just this perfect moment where it's like, wow, this is what it feels like to be fucking normal. Is this what like sane, non-depressed people feel like? It was like amazing. I just felt good. I just felt like awake and pleasant and just like chipper. And then that's the only time I've ever gotten that. I don't know what else. I
was expecting you to like do a caffeine crash or some shit.
I'm on my way there. I'm trying my best to stay awake now. I'm doing a more chill, laid back, reclined thing, which because my recording space is so small means that I have the door open. So there's some reverb, but it's not
my
terrible.
microphone sucks ass, so I mean...
It's all good. I mean...
It's all good.
You're coming through the Discord too, so that just makes it sound like a digital phone call, so it's all the same.
All right.
So let's move on to an update on our weekly goals and ongoing projects. I'll get through mine while I still have some energy. I got 86 orders on Fiverr, which is 6 proud of the goal of 80 that I had set, which I think I'm going to stick with 80 for the time being. Price change. I was talking about this last episode. I changed my prices, so instead of $5 for 350 words, which amounts to 2 to 3 minutes, depending on the pace, I knocked it down to 225 words for the first $5, and then 150 words after that, which amounts to about 1 minute to 2 minutes of audio, which is still crazy cheap because on most platforms, my actual rates are about $35 or so for that much. But yeah, getting it to actually work was the main problem because I've had this glitch with Fiverr and I had to go back and forth with customer support and do weird stuff to make it actually like let me change the price because there was like this false flag error for a part that I wasn't even changing and nonsense. But after like a couple hours of just tearing my hair out, I finally got it to actually work. And then my clients actually haven't had too much of a problem. I've had to pull this is a 90+% discount card a couple of times, but once I do that, they seem pretty receptive for the most part. I lost one or two. I think I definitely saw one of them like in the buyer request section, like looking for a replacement for me, and he's been come back for orders since. So it looks like he wasn't able to find anyone with the same level of quality. That's the main thing I point out is like most people who do the quality of voiceover that I do on there are charging $5 for like 150 words, if not only like 100. So I'm still a great value in the tier that I'm at because I'm like 10th on the front page. Like I'm very, very high up there at this point, and I'm still giving people what I can.
You're right, and that actually reminds me because a couple days ago, like actually about a week ago, I mentioned that I do this podcast with someone, and we mentioned, oh, who do you do the podcast with? And I was like, oh, I do it with this freelance voice actor. We both talk about our goals and shit. And I mentioned you do a lot of Fiverr gigs, and he was like, what the hell is Fiverr?
Yeah, that's usually what I get is what is Fiverr?
Yeah, but see, I booted up on my phone. I booted up Fiverr. We clicked a couple things, and all of a sudden, I see you there.
Yep, I'm pretty high up.
Shit!
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. And I was like, hey, look, this is the guy I podcast with. And he was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said you podcast with a girl. And I was like, no, I did not say that. But anyway.
It's complicated. But yeah, the thing I also point out when I started telling my regulars about this was most of the scripts they send me are under 225 words anyways. Like they pay for the 350, but they don't usually need it. And in fact, most with the style of video that they do, making it any longer than like 200 words is just gonna drag because they're just like whiteboard animations, and they don't need to be more than like a minute long because nobody's gonna watch them for more than a minute. And it's not because of any quality thing, it's just attention span. People are used to short Facebook, Instagram, whatever videos, and so making it any longer, it's just kind of a waste. Unless
I've actually heard of when I say heard of, I mean I've actually seen like hour-long whiteboard videos.
Wow.
And these are like the trashiest of these are clearly the whiteboard videos that aren't even like a real whiteboard, but they just use like software to do like a fake hand doing that shit.
Yeah, I've seen a lot because I've only seen a couple of the videos that have actually used my voiceover. And the thing I've noticed, I don't know what's up with these programs, but they crush the hell out of the quality. Like of the couple I've seen, they're clearly using the same program, and it's like just I sent them a super high quality 44.1 kilohertz 16-bit mono, like just standard high def audio, and like it's just this crushed terrible sounding the 144p of audio kind of
oh yeah
garbage.
No,
I don't know what they do to
about
it or what this program does to it, but it makes it sound terrible.
They're just rendering everything at such ridiculously low settings, so that way they can just shit out the video as fast as possible.
Yeah, because most of them are I'll do a minute animation in 24 hours, which is why they're always freaking out, trying to get me to do rush orders. And it's I'm fine doing rush orders. Honestly, most of these, I'll get into that in a minute here, but it's they take 5 to 10 minutes. A standard order takes no time at all. So as long as I'm not asleep or not in the house, there's no reason I shouldn't be able to deliver in an hour or so.
Fiverr sellers are gonna despise me for saying what they're using, but I'm gonna say it anyway. They're using Sparkle Video Scribe Pro.
Yep. Yeah, actually I had one guy who his group of animators, he actually hired me to do the voiceover for it, and he specifically had in the script we don't use Video Scribe or Go Animate. And it's yeah, unfortunately that's what most of the folks on there do.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's just because it's easy, it's cheap, and
The Go
most
Anime
people who
ones,
are going to order something on Fiverr don't know any better.
I like the Go Anime ones because like those profiles, like they don't make any pretense of it being high quality. They're like, look, I paid for Go Anime, so just give me $5 and I'll basically let you tell me what you want to make in it. Like that's basically it. It's just like this is just so you don't have to buy Go Animate. You can just pay for this one
That's
video.
pretty much all it is.
Yeah, and it's like honest. I appreciate the honesty. Oh, I will say when I was at TrotCon, I was talking to one of the other musicians because like most of the con, like I was just working voiceover, and like pretty much all of the musicians knew that, and I felt bad that I couldn't like actually socialize with them for the most part, but I got to hang out a little bit. And like while I was at soundcheck, it was just like, man, I wish I had more time to hang out and stuff, but I've been working on voiceover. Is like, oh yeah, how do you do that? It's like, oh, I go through Fiverr. And it's like, Fiverr actually works, and it's like, it works for me. Like, you
There's
just need to know marketing and do a little bit of research, and it works fine.
there's a guy, I can't remember his name, but he was homeless, and I think he's on the streets of I think it was the streets of Boston or some shit. But he had a fucking laptop,
Right?
and the guy was, the guy studied marketing and shit in, I think it was high school, and he was like, God damn it, Fiverr is this thing, and I'm going to make $1 million off of this. And everyone fucking laughed at him.
Right.
Everyone thought he was fucking crazy until, like, I think it was like 6 months later, he was so fucking good at just selling himself on Fiverr and just doing this, like, whatever the fuck it was he was doing. I think he was doing, like, copywriting or some shit.
Yeah, sure.
To the point where his net worth was like $5 million or some shit.
Wow. That's impressive.
Hours and stuff. But
yeah,
I mean, like, if you're good, you can make some big money with Fiverr. It's just you can't be making anything too good for Fiverr, otherwise you're going to be just wasting time.
Right, yeah, the rule of thumb is that if it takes you more than 5 to 10 minutes to do it, you need to charge more. Like for the standard $5, it needs to be less than 10 minutes of your time. Most people say 5 minutes. I'm fine with 10 because most of the time, just because of how how slow my internet is, it takes a little bit longer. But really, it's barely that much work. Yeah. Speaking of which, I actually tried documenting how many hours I work, and I have like an app on my phone that's basically a time clock. You just touch the app icon, and it puts the time you started and stopped into a Google spreadsheet and like totals it out. I wasn't very good about actually like keeping on top of that, so the numbers are not super accurate, but I kind of estimated that I can do about 6 standard orders in an hour, which means that because I'm getting $4 after Fiverr takes its cut per order, I'm making about $24 an hour, and I'm working part-time pretty much, so I'm doing all right for myself. The other thing is the portfolio site that I get for free with my Adobe subscription, which I upgraded that because I wanted to get Premiere. I was hoping I could take the Premiere CS6 that I already had on my laptop and move it over, but unfortunately, Windows 10 don't do that, so I'm just paying the $50 a month for the whole suite, and that means that I get like, Flash, or it's now called Animate, Creative Cloud, and stuff, and After Effects, which I've never gone to use, Media Encoder, which I'm gonna have to figure out how to use that, but it means I'll be able to cue rendering in the background, which will be fantastic. But yeah, free portfolio site, so I set that up, took me a bit. It's pretty much, as far as I can tell, just like on level with a Tumblr. Like it's basically like that complex. But it
reminds me, I've yet to actually listen to your portfolio. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's just like my demos and like some random beats, basically all the stuff I have on my Fiverr profiles, and like a specific intro that I made for the thing, which directs back to this podcast, which is pretty cool. It's just it feels a little more professional to direct clients to there than to my SoundCloud, and it's a little more organized, pretty decent. I want to get a custom URL, just because the iggydkid.myportfolio.com sounds a little, but Yeah, I'll have to look into that. But it makes it pretty streamlined to actually implement a custom URL with it. And then the other update is my other weekly goal was one Let's Play. Didn't get that done because right now I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule, which is why we're doing this so early. And I was planning on recording the Let's Play earlier, but didn't get to, so I'll probably record it tomorrow. But I know what game I'm going to do it on and everything, so should be fine. I'll have a time with it. Anyways, Christian, an update on your weekly goals.
Yes. So my weekly goals for last week were for me to, oh boy. So every day do something positive. And then I wanted to redo my avatar, my social media approach. I wanted to buy a website and get a URL. I wanted to have, I want to do daily drawings. I want to have character designs up on Instagram and Tumblr and shit like that. I don't want to say I failed, but let me just fucking get into it. It'll be a little easier. So for the everyday, do something positive thing. I've been doing all right with that. I mean, I'm actually fairly active in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I've been doing a lot of volunteer work this week for that. Which has been fine. I mean, I'm not the most religious person on the planet, but I think that there is some good that the church does, and for me to assist in that in any way is that's good. That's good. I don't see any issue with that.
Huh.
I've been giving blessings for the sick and stuff like that, which, even if you don't believe it, I think that just the very concept of just giving someone like some hope, giving someone something to just, kind of like just giving someone like the belief that they'll be feeling better or something like that is like, it's great. It's great. I mean, think of I'm going to say this, think of the last time you've been just completely fucking sick, or not even that, but maybe think of like the last time you've been just completely like just fucked over, like you are just dead, you're fucked, you're screwed, and it's like crawl in the corner, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you probably do crawl in the fucking corner, but because they don't see light at the end of the tunnel, they don't see that there's going to be something positive at the very end of this. And, something like a blessing, or really just even something like, just reminding someone that, they're special, someone cares about them, that, they have the power to get through something is, sometimes that's all it is. There's a really good book you should check out. It's called, you might have actually heard of it already. It's called Man's Search for Meaning. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay. So it's like 50% memoir, 50% like the special field of psychology this guy does. Who wrote it was I can't remember his name, but he was someone who was sent to Auschwitz.
Oh shit.
And it's kind of like a memoir. At the very least, the first half of it is kind of like a memoir of just his experience in Auschwitz. And one of the things that really stuck out to me of pretty much everything in there is that, at the very beginning of, just not in the beginning, but just very early on, he makes something really fucking clear. And that is that, what ended up happening in Auschwitz is it's like movies make it out to be. It is worse than like, it's pretty much worse than like everything you ever read. I mean, it's like they weren't fed for shit, like their rations were pretty much just like one slice of bread a week.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, that's
Like,
what you
it
do
was
is when you
terrible.
got
People were like,
when you got people working for you in a slave condition, you just gotta you feed them the bare minimum to stay alive, but not enough so that they can be strong enough to revolt.
Exactly. But very clear about this is it's the people who survived that shit, the people who actually got to see kind of like the light of freedom at the very end of this. They had hope, like kind of like a belief that things would at some point get better. And they held on to that belief for dear life. Whereas the people, every single one in that camp who gave up hope, who just, said it's never going to get better. I don't know what's going on. Like we're screwed for life. I'm only doing this just to keep alive, but we're never going to get out of this camp. They all fucking died.
Yeah.
They all died, whether it be from starvation, whether it be from going crazy and getting killed by the Nazis and stuff like that, they all died. And it's been doing this week is I've been writing letters, and I've been writing letters to fucking strangers. Like I shouldn't call them fucking strangers, but I've been writing just a lot of letters to just strangers. There's a site I've been using. It's called I think it's called moreloveletters.com.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds a little strong. I'm not writing to strangers, oh, I think you're so cute and adorable. Oh, I want to marry you or some crazy shit like that. I'm writing letters to people who are going through a hard time, who have, like had their mom die, their son die, their daughter, whatever,
Right.
who have been like 40 years type of things. And, something I've noticed with all of them is it's like every single one of them is going through some crazy shit because they kind of forgot that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
So, I mean, that's something that I've been, good on there. I've been good at trying to do something positive for everyone every single day. The rest of everything I did, though, is I didn't make very good progress with anything else. If you follow me on Instagram and Tumblr, you know that I haven't updated that shit in probably about a week.
Yeah, probably.
And
I get notifications all the time, but I got like 70 notifications every few hours from like Twitter until I shut it off, and now I get like I only have like a half dozen Tumblrs that I get notifications for, but even then I don't keep up.
absolutely, and it's like I said I'm gonna make a website and buy a URL to put my own shit on and do other things. I didn't make diddly shit money last week, so like I have not been able to do that.
Yeah,
I've
speaking
not
of
been able to do that.
which,
I was supposed to redo my. Go on, go on, go on.
yeah, speaking of which, we can move on to our weeks with the total money made from projects since last episode. So, I made $456 in the completed orders, and I have 200 active. So once those are completed, they will be added to that total.
It's nice. You still there? Or did my connection shit out?
I probably did.
Okay.
So
So anyway, you said you made $456, and active you have made 200.
yep, yeah, and then that's pretty much it. So what'd you make?
And more. I only made $20 this week.
That's better than nothing.
And well, you see, the thing is I didn't even technically make it. What happened is someone just owed me $20, and they kind of just gave me the $20 back.
Ah, well,
And I was like, you see, so what's been going on this week is it's like I have been like I don't know what the fuck's been going on, but it's like I'll just sleep and I'll sleep for like so fucking long that it's like I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then like every time I'm about to wake up, I'm like, oh, it's time to wake up and do things. And then the next thing you know, like I fall back asleep without even fucking realizing it.
yeah, I've been there.
So like last night, really good example. I went to bed at 10 and I was supposed to get up at 1.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing you know, it was 2. And the next thing you know, it was 3. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom and things are gonna be good. And then I was like, no, let's lay down an extra 5 minutes.
Yep, that's the
And
trap.
the next thing you know, it was 4. Let's take a nap on the floor so that way like I won't be tempted to like just go back to sleep. So then I do that, and next thing you know, it was 5.
Yeah, that's always the trap to me is like anytime I've been able to make myself actually have a decent schedule, it's been I've just like forced myself to actually get up and just get going even though I really want to sleep for just like another 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And then if I actually do sleep the extra 5 minutes, I'll just keep hitting snooze for like half an hour, and then after that I just sleep until whenever I fucking get up like hours later. So that's the main thing is just getting that resolved to just force yourself to get up. It was always a lot easier when I had like a job, like an actual job I had to go do and I was on a schedule and stuff, because then it's like I actually have a reason to be up. Meanwhile, now it's like there's really no reason for me to be on a normal schedule. Like I just can work whenever, and if they have to wait a few more hours, all of my deadlines are at least 24 hours later. So as long as I don't sleep more than 24 hours, it doesn't really matter how long I sleep. But it feels like it'd be a lot more convenient to me to be able to have a good schedule.
Like unfortunately for me, as you guys know, if you guys listen to the show, I'm trying to get a YouTube animation channel going, and that like trying to get a YouTube channel in general going to the extent that the algorithm, like with the upload rate that you have to do to really get good,
Yeah.
with the YouTube algorithm. It's insane. Not only do you have to upload daily, but in order to really get good, not get good, but in order to like really get results and get noticed by YouTube's system, you have to be uploading at least 20-minute content daily.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get by with at least 10, but I mean, for the most part, it's kind of like, to really, really, really get it, it has to be 20 minutes or more fucking daily. And if you're doing something animation related, there is no fucking way in hell you are going to be able to, in your spare time, be able to pull something like that off. So for me, in order for me to get the funds and financial stuff required for me to be able to do that, I need to get off my ass and just get the fucking money. Like there's no way. Like this is something that kind of confuses a lot of people I talk to because it's just so different. But this isn't something like, oh, you get like a part-time job or something to do, because no part-time job is going to be able to pay the amount of just extreme, extreme, extreme expenses that you were able to do something like this. The only fucking way anyone is going to get the money to do something like this, which is going to be at the very least, probably at the very least, like $300,000 minimum. That is bare minimum right there. Is for you to just start selling shit. Like have a business. I don't know what business you are, but like be in the business of making extreme amounts of cash by just closing every fucking sale you can. And like the only way to do that is to take action, and then take fucking more action instead of having me sleep and fall asleep, just waste my life doing this stupid shit. It's like, I have been in the huge trap for the past 2 years of my life because for the past 2 years of my life, I've been telling myself this, I want to start a YouTube channel. Here knows this. I've been saying it for the past few years. This has been my goal, but it's like to really succeed at it, I've been in this trap where like I've always kind of known that there's just no quote unquote job, so to speak, that you can get that'll be able to just provide you with just the resources you need to do this. To really do this, you have to put your fucking foot down and close every fucking sale you can. And I have been reluctant to do that for one reason or another. And I need to stop doing that shit because like the more I wait, the less likely I am to do it. And on top of that, like life is extremely fucking short. Like it is so there's a really, 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 really good quote here from some woman. I can't remember her name, but she interviewed like over 30,000 people on their deathbed about things that they regret doing. The number one thing that people who are people who are about to die just regret with their lives, and this is one of the things they have to say, is, quote, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me.
Right.
End quote. And for me, what's been really holding me back is I've always been in this like weird like middle ground where like I know what I need to do to be successful, but at the same time, it's just so different than what everyone else is expecting of me. I mean, like I'm sure you know this, but I don't know if people in the show know this. I spent a significant amount of my childhood and just growing up like completely fucking homeless. Like I spent huge amount of time in like homeless shelters. I've never had much money. I've never, like just the concept of going to college was honestly something that is just completely out of line because my family never had the money, fucking money. And it's like, as growing up, I was always told, not by my parents, but by everyone else who knew me that, I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to be big because, I'm not the right person. I wasn't in the right family. I wasn't in the right time. You're just not going to be able to do it. And it's like, as weird as it sounds, it's kind of like there's this pushback I've noticed. But and anyway, so pretty much I just need to like say, fuck this. I'm putting my own foot down. I'm getting this shit going. I'm not going to be some depressed, mopey little fuck who sits here and just sleeps all day. Like, no, I need to put my foot down and I need to get shit going regardless. However the fuck I do it, shit needs to happen. Have at least $2,000 in the bank, period.
Yep.
So,
Anyways, let's look at new projects, which it sounds like you kind of touched on this earlier.
Kind of. I don't know if it counts as a new project here, but I mentioned YouTube animation channel and stuff like that. And for me, the kind of animation that I want to do is much more inspired by Iggy, but fuck it. It's much more inspired by Japanese animation.
Hmm.
Much more inspired by shit like Miyazaki and like other stuff like that. And to do this and costs down, I was actually going to be doing it in 3D, except then just have some really, really, really big cell shading that I've been learning how to do, inspired by the game Guilty Gear Xrd, which if you
Yep.
go look at like gameplay of that shit, it looks like it's hand drawn, but that shit is actually fucking like 3D cell shaded. It's crazy. But watched something out of like inspiration. I watched this new show, this new anime show, as dorky as the sounds. It was called Princess Principal. Have you ever heard of it, Iggy?
No, I haven't heard of that one. Actually, weirdly enough, we have Crunchyroll and we try and keep up with stuff, but yeah,
Well,
that
for right
one.
now, it's a fucking like Amazon Strike exclusive,
Oh,
whatever the
that's
fuck.
why I'm not gonna bother with that nonsense. I already pay for
Yeah,
Prime.
I don't blame you there. But like I was watching this and like it has really good animation, but what blew me away is just how limited that shit is.
Hmm.
I'm serious. Like go look at any type of like, mainstream anime and just look at the animation on it. Even, the quote unquote best animated things ever, they're really limited.
Oh yeah, because that's the thing is like the Geek Knights pointed this out is that like Netflix is when they started dipping into the anime game, they point out that like if Netflix provided even what they consider a tiny budget to an anime studio to make an original animation, it would be the highest budget anime ever created. They work on
They're very
the
it would
thinnest razor thin budgets to make anime.
It would. And, for someone like me who wants to do something 3D based and also like mocap it too, just to save time, fucking easy for me to theoretically do because it's like, I don't, the team I have doesn't have to painstakingly draw every fucking frame on the planet. I mean, you do have to go in and like edit, some of the frames to make it have that like 2D aesthetic, but like, you don't have to painstakingly draw something. You have to painstakingly create something new every fucking time. And then because you look at just regular anime, that shit's choppy already. Frame rate of the motion cap data, you don't even lower it, but just take certain keyframes out of that shit, and then there you go. You have that exact same fucking thing, and just so much faster to do, and it would work so well for the YouTube algorithm. And here I am bitching and complaining and not doing it. And it's not really a new project, but like it's just something that because I haven't done it yet, and I feel like a fucking I feel like a fucking poser every time I say I'm gonna do it and I don't do it.
You just gotta do
Shit's changing.
what like every anime and manga fucking group does is what they do is they just get like a studio apartment and then all of them just cram in there and just lock themselves in and just work until it's done. Like it's just grind constantly, like literally do nothing but work and eat and like no
No,
time for anything else.
that's something that I definitely do intend to do. In fact, it's like I'm sure if you listen to the show, you guys know I am living with my parents, which is theoretically that's fine, but I hate it. I hate it so much because here, like I'm here, but I'm not doing the shit that I should be doing, and like I need to just move out. I don't care fucking where, just go somewhere where I can just kind of like hole myself up and just do the shit that I need to do. And I was actually looking at a place in Baltimore, which is the city that I'm in, like a month. Not terribly good, but it comes with like internet, TV, electricity, whatever.
Yeah.
And I could just go in there, do my shit, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't know why the fuck I'm waiting so long to just take fucking action. Really good Thomas Jefferson quote. Never be idle. No person will have an occasion to complain of wanting for those who just never loses any or some shit. That sounds crazy. But
It's
pretty
just
much he's saying,
inertia.
just
It's 100% inertia. It's like you're at a point where it's like you know that it's there and you know that once you get going, it's going to it's going to snowball and it's going to work out. But the thing is, it's such a daunting thing because it's just like you're going to go from this place of rest, of like not having to necessarily like being able to opt out of working, to a point where it's like you won't be able to have an excuse not to work anymore. And it's just this huge wall of like, I'm going to be constantly putting work into this thing that will work, but it's going to be an entirely different thing. And getting that momentum going is really the problem.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And
That's
you know,
how
it
it was
actually
with
reminds me of
Fiverr.
an Isaac
And I'm
Newton quote. An object in motion will remain in motion.
Exactly. Yeah, that's literally inertia. Like that's what that's the definition of the term. And it's like, yeah, that's how it was with Fiverr. It's like I spent so much time sluggishly getting into it because I knew as soon as I got started that it would just be so much work, and I put it off for so long. And I really wish I hadn't, because I could have started months ago and I'd be even more successful than I am now on there, and maybe actually, like, I don't know, I don't really have a ton of want for money at the moment, considering my bills are so
You'll
low.
be doing something,
Yeah, exactly.
when nothing, which is there's a really good Cracked article called like 6 harsh truths that'll make you a better person, and I think like number one, yourself, because you don't do anything, and there's some truth to that. Like a lot of people they say, oh, I hate myself because this, I hate myself because this, but in reality what it is people hate themselves because they're not getting out of this or that. They're not taking the steps to actually just do what they want to fucking do, so instead they just sit there and mopey and depressed than it is to actually take action and be happy. I can't remember which psychologist said this, but is being complacent. We are naturally designed to be depressed fucking losers if we're not taking action and doing something.
Exactly.
That makes fucking sense. I mean, in fucking caveman times, if we just sat around and did nothing, fucking die so quickly. Like we would be extinct. Issue is we don't live in those days anymore where you have to move around and be hunting and trying to find a mate and shit like that, or else you're gonna die, because we have technology, we have houses, we have this and that, and without that push we kind of just don't fucking do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
The plethora of mental issues we have these days.
So my new projects, pretty much just updating my YouTube, because I've never had like a channel intro video, and they've changed things a lot. Like I was going in, adding my portfolio site, and like they've changed things a lot since I last used YouTube heavily. So if I'm gonna be doing Let's Plays and stuff, I'm gonna set up a channel intro and just get it all actually done up. I'm actually thinking about possibly going on Fiverr to find somebody to design a banner logo for me, but whatever. Might do it, might not. I really can't say at the moment.
I could do a banner logo for you. Fuck, I'll just consider that part of my daily images or some shit.
Shit, I mean, it just needs to be something. I could honestly probably just do it myself, except for I don't have Paint Tool Sci on this computer. I have it on the laptop still, so might do it through that. Borrow one of my roommate's tablets.
I need to do a banner for my Facebook and Twitter and shit myself. So.
Yep. So, our business focus. In my case, this week, I hadn't realized it, but I was overstressing myself, apparently, because I started to get an eye twitch, which has happened before, just like a twitch in the corner of my eye. It happened in high school a couple of times, but it pretty much just means that I'm stressing myself out way too much. So, my focus is just relaxing, because no matter how much you want to work, and I can get into swings where I just work for ages, and then I realize, like, oh, I haven't eaten or slept in way too long, or talked to anyone, even though they're in the next room. So just decompressing, just relaxing is really essential to being able to do business and such effectively. So lately I've been playing a lot of Splatoon. It's been out for a little over a week, and it's
lucky.
It's fantastic. Holy crap. I finally got up to, you got to get up to level 10 to do ranked stuff, and ranked stuff is it's really, I don't know. I
want
like
it so badly.
I like the ranked stuff, but it's like it's really hard to get past the bottom rank, because not only is it like modes that are there are modes that are pretty much just exclusive to that, But like, yeah, I don't know. They just don't give you that much. It's like if you win a match, it's like, oh, now you get like a tenth of the bar to get up to the next rank. And if you lose like 5 times, which generally will happen because your team sucks rather than you suck, because it literally just goes off of did your team win or not. And it's like, I tried to support them, but it's hard to support them when there's no way to communicate, really. I mean, I guess there's like voice chat, but I don't go in for that nonsense.
Squidboards.com or some shit and get like a team of people in the same boat who are all like, we need to fucking get our rank up.
Yeah, well, I'll say, Switch, with the Nintendo Switch, they actually started the online app now. So how they're gonna handle the communication, because they've always had the friend codes and it's always been super closed off. Is you can get an app with like, and you can put parental controls and it'll have stuff specific to each game and all that. So you can use that for voice chat. I haven't tried it out because, like I said, I don't go in for that. But it's actually pretty cool. I believe it's only going to be like $20 per year once they start charging for it, but it's technically in beta still, so they're not charging until like next year. And it'll come with like a free like virtual console game once they start actually doing virtual console. But yeah, it's got some good stuff. It has like all your stats on there, and it has a thing called Splatnet where you can order exclusive clothes like one at a time, and then once you buy it, you can order another one. But it's like, that's a pretty cool idea for the most part. I've had a ton of fun playing Splatoon, and I'm getting pretty decent at it now. Once I figured out how to actually maneuver properly, which was my main problem.
I don't have Splatoon or a Switch yet because, as I'm sure you just heard me ramble about, I have very little money on hand.
Yeah.
But every so often this week, I've been just looking up on just strategies of the game and stuff like that. I don't even fucking own it yet, but like,
I'll break it down for you.
Oh my god!
You okay?
Yes, I'm good. I just screamed about how good this game is, or it looks, because
Yeah.
I have yet to play it.
I'll give you the breakdown real quick. And this is from someone, I didn't play Splatoon, so this could be wildly inaccurate, but from a week of playing it pretty heavily, this is what I've gleaned. Depending on the mode, at least depending on the mode, you either want to get to the middle of the map as fast as you can with most of the ranked battle ones, or if it's the standard turf war, you just gotta ink more. Don't just move to the middle of the map. It's tempting because you know that in the end, it's gonna all come to a contest of the middle of the map, who can hold on to that. But what you want to do is make sure the rest of your team is going towards the middle of the map, and then you hang back and just get all the nooks and crannies that everybody just ignored on the side of your map. Because really, if you can cover the entire chunk of your map that they can't, the other team can't even access, then you are going to be so far ahead of the game, and it will make the difference. I've had so many where it's literally come down to 0.6% of the map. And that's just because I actually took a few extra seconds to cover up all the little empty spots.
There's actually a really good article on Kotaku about why, if you were to do turf war, you need to ink your own base.
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
That's pretty much it.
Because that's the one place that the enemy team can't get to.
Yeah, it's pretty much, there's depending on the map, some of them you can actually get all the way up to there, but generally they have it so that if you're coming from the other side, it's really difficult to actually get onto the other last quarter of the map. Some of the maps, it's you can get right up to their spawn, and there's the one jetpack thing where you can just get up on there and it's not a big deal, but yeah, that's a big deal. The other thing I've noticed is you want to keep the squid form just held down constantly, because you're going to run out of ink more than anything. And you just want to keep that held down, because if you have that held down and then you touch the fire button or hold it, it will pop you out of squid form and you'll fire. And then as soon as you let it go, you'll just drop right back down into squid form. And that is the most efficient way I've found to move so far. Right now, I feel strategy-wise, I'm pretty solid, It's just a matter of I need to get the mechanics of like actually aiming better, because it's not like it's crazy accurate, but it's still like I've had so many times where it's like I'm like just barely to like the left or right of the person, and I'm almost able to splat them, but then they notice me because I'm splatting like right behind them, and then they turn around and get me. So I just gotta like actually practice more.
Training mode in the game or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the turf war basically is training mode. There's like a first person. There's this sweet new mode called Salmon Run where it's like you like are like contractors like trying to get like these eggs from these salmon I don't know, but it's like a tower defense kind of thing, and there's like all these crazy kind of like Left 4 Dead style like salmon bosses. It's so goddamn fun. But anyways, yeah, that's your Splatoon update for the episode. Oh yeah, and the new Splatfest is coming
next
around.
Week you will have me talking about it.
Yeah. The new Splatfest is mayo versus ketchup. I picked Team Mayo.
What is wrong with you?
Mayo is better than ketchup.
Ketchup is so much better than mayo. Mayo is only good on like, where's fucking ketchup?
I don't go in for ketchup.
But I get a feeling ketchup's gonna win regardless.
I should point out though that when I think mayo,
everyone in America is bitching about Pearl for some weird reason.
Because she's like a little white trash goblin. But
my connection just shot out, didn't it?
The thing is, it's also that Marina is like freaking adorable in comparison. But the cheapest mayo will always be better than just the standard ketchup. I've had ketchup that was good once when I lived up in Washington State. Portland ketchup, I believe it's Portland like company or something, but that's like the brand, and it's like a local ketchup. That was the only good ketchup I've had because it's actually like mashed
ketchup
tomato, and it actually tastes like tomato. It doesn't taste just like sugar and like vinegar. Ugh, ketchup. I can't handle
ketchup though. That's fucking.
I can't handle
tomatoes.
I can't handle plain ketchup. Like I love tomatoes, but it's like they don't taste like tomatoes is my problem. That other ketchup, that was high quality ketchup, that tasted like tomatoes. That was good stuff. Ketchup doesn't taste like tomatoes. It just tastes like syrupy nonsense. And like the only way I can handle it,
it's supposed to taste like tomato soup with like sugar and shit poured in it.
the only way I can handle it, you mix in the mayo, the ketchup, a little bit of hot sauce, some like seasonings, make a fry sauce. I can handle that, but I can't.
Okay, that is some good shit right there. I will not deny that is some of the best shit right there.
So the other thing I'm doing to decompress, and this is more like more labor intensive, because I'm setting up to DM a tabletop RPG. I always DM because that's the thing, is you always need a DM and nobody wants to do it. So if you want to do tabletop RPGs, the only way you're going to be able to play it often is to bite the bullet and become a DM, because if you can be a DM, people are totally happy if you're willing to do all of the massive, like 80 to 90% of the entire game. All of that work, it's just a lot of work, is done by the DM, and people are more than happy to do the rest of the work of just playing the character, because that's the fun. The DM has to do all of it to make it actually fun, and it's rewarding. Like when it all comes together and it's a great and it's like a fun game, it's super rewarding, but it's like you have to do so much. And the best way to do it is to actually like go the extra mile and even make like pre-created characters, so that they literally don't have to do anything. You can just hand them their goddamn character sheet and be like, okay, we're going. And it's like, it's a lot of work, but it's fun. I'm trying to decide, because I have 3 separate games that I'm trying to decide which one I'm gonna run. D&D 5 5th edition, which I haven't messed around with 5th edition yet. The only time I ever ran D&D was 4th edition, and it was okay. It was definitely a lot of focus on the combat. 5th edition looks like it's a little more classic, and it's definitely focusing on the RPG more. It feels like they're taking a lot from like indie RPGs like The Burning Wheel, that focus a lot more on the character and role playing, which is pretty cool. So it's between that. It's between there was a humble bundle for the Doctor Who RPG and I paid $15 to get just like everything Doctor Who RPG. And that looks okay. It's like a D6 system, which is kind of lame, but it looks like it's a pretty decent setup, and it
Yeah,
came
this
with.
shit kind of reminds me. Have you ever gone online and just looked at some of the shitty free RPGs that are out there?
Oh god, all the time. This is something the Geek Knights point out, is that like if you not as much now, but it used to be, if you went to like any convention, there would be at least one or two guys in the vendors hall begging to get people to try out their fix to D&D, like their system that's supposed to be the thing that fixed D&D.
You're right.
And
no,
they said
I once went to
the
a
thing
convention and they had people trying to get him to play cat RPG.
Yeah, what the fuck? I mean, Mouse Guard is like a thing, but that's based on like a comic that already exists.
Yeah, that's like a comic. This is just some shitty thing some people made on the internet, and it's like they're always like, "Yeah, guys, you play as a cat in the house, and the cats have magic, and you're owned by the things, and you have to like." You have to stop the evil spirits from killing your owner, and it's totally not the plot of the movie Ghost Cat, but it kind of sort of is at the same time, and just play it with us, please.
Well, the thing is with indie RPGs, it's like they actually said that as a lead into the one time they did get roped in was with Luke Crane, who made The Burning Wheel, which is one of the best indie RPGs. His RPGs are amazing. I really, really, really want to run Torchbearer, which is just like dungeon crawling, just like inventory Tetris, just like hack and slash kind of RPG. It's awesome. I don't have the
Well,
book is the thing.
from everything I've noticed, like it's. I'm actually glad you brought up being the DM in this, because like everything I've noticed is it's not like a lot of times if you're gonna actually have fun in one of these RPGs and stuff like that, right? A lot of times it's not necessarily the game, but it's more so the DM.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing that the Geek Knights say, because they do a lot of RPGs and stuff, is in fact, speaking of the Burning Wheel, there was Burning Con, which was basically like a convention where if you went, it was just like everybody was just playing Burning Wheel. That was what it was. It was just like a meetup.
I'm disappointed that's not like Burning Man, the convention.
Right. And it was done in Jersey, I think, and just because that's where Luke Crane lives. And the rule was
Right.
you have to play in two different games, so they were all one-offs, and you have to DM one game. Everybody who went had to DM at least one game. And the thing is, they pointed out was
that sounds like a fair rule.
yeah, it was super fair, and it turned out really well. What they point out, and he actually, like, before this, Luke Crane put out like his rules of like how to be a decent DM, and it's just like don't make them do extra work, have a thing in mind, this and that, and it's good stuff. I love stuff like that. But the thing they point out is you're gonna be terrible. 99% of DMs are awful, like almost all of them. And once you get into the momentum and a groove, you'll have fun. Like you're just having fun. Like socializing is really what it comes down to. Like that's the thing, is like even the shittiest game, if it's multiplayer, you'll have fun because you're just hanging out with people, having a time, regardless of what the content is. So like if a game is multiplayer and you're having fun, it really says nothing about how good the game is.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right there.
But
you're right there.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Is most DMs are terrible. And the best ones are really just the ones who can improvise effectively. When I was at TrotCon, if I could take a step back, I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, Doctor Who RPG. Thankfully, this bundle came with a crap load of like pre-made adventures, so that's kind of what I'm gonna go with here, because I'm gonna be playing it with my roommates, and they really haven't done much in RPGs, so pre-made adventures will work a lot better for them. So it's between the Doctor Who RPG, D&D 5th edition, and a game I played at TrotCon, which was Fallout Equestria, the tabletop RPG. The thing is, it works because Fallout has probably the greatest system for an RPG created. Like, special is still the most elegant way to have your attributes laid out. Like that's such a genius system. I love it. And yeah, like it really is just like that, but then they also stat it out for like all the like Fallout Equestria specific stuff, but it's basically just a Fallout RPG and it's pretty decent. I got a chance to play like a pickup game for like half an hour with Versal, this rapper who was playing there. And like he was an awesome DM because we just ran in and he was just like, hey, let's just do a game real quick. Here's some character sheets, just pick whichever one you like. And he just started completely pulling shit out of his ass, and it was just the most ludicrous stuff, but it was just like he was really good because in that half hour there wasn't a second where he stumbled or he had to like think for a minute. He was just like, because he also knew it's like this isn't going to go anywhere, so he didn't actually have to have answers to any of these. So it was just like this crazy thing with like we were like locked in this house and we go into the basement and there's like a realistic beach, but then like if you like throw something out there or walk out there, it's like not, you don't move at all, and it's like all this crazy stuff, and there was no actual answer to it. And in fact, I'm probably going to use that premise if I run this, but
right.
But yeah, he was just fantastic is all. But
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm just
I
having
might run that
flashbacks right now to the last like D&D game I ever played, which was like 3 years ago, like 3 years ago. It was at the same convention where me and Iggy here met.
Yep.
Playing D&D, but with My Little Ponies.
Yeah.
With the most lame people at like, I think it was like 1 a.m. or
What
some
was
shit
it, Pony
when
Finder,
like
then?
I wasn't supposed to be watching the art room, but I was anyway because Kenneth and Christy, they even though they were supposed to be watching the art room, they were nowhere to be found.
Oh, joy.
Some dorks, and they were all like, hey, you want to play Dungeons and Dragons with me? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? This could be fun. Why not? I'm here to draw anyway. Let's do some fucking D&D in here. And they got out all their things. We got the pony dolls out. That was going to be our like game pieces and stuff like that.
Yeah, which I mean they're perfect. The little blind bag figures are pretty much the perfect size.
Oh yeah, they
for
are
it.
perfect for that shit. But what got me though is just like the DM was like so bad at his job at a DM. It's like when you're a DM, you're technically like the storyteller of the group. Your job is to pretty much tell the story of
You're
what's
like a
going
combination of storyteller and referee.
Yeah, pretty much. So he sounded just like this, and he would just be like, okay, so it's your turn now, and I was like, okay, sweet, and then he was all like, okay, so into the dungeon, and there's an enemy in front of you. He sounded just like that, and it was the most boring thing ever. But what really got me going, though, is the second you do anything ever so slightly against what he was expecting you to do.
Oh, no.
He would, like, you just see his face. It would be all like, I'm sorry, what did you do? What the fuck did you just do? Like, he'd finally get some emotion, but be angry, be pissed off. He'd be all like, why did he do that? You're not supposed to do that.
That's the other thing. You gotta treat your campaign like you gotta be ready to improvise. You either have to be really good at improvising, which the best DMs are. Like, if you look up Lord Cat, he was one of the first guys on Twitch because he was big on Justin TV, and then when they made Twitch, they just kind of migrated him over and they like signed a deal and stuff. He like would run these D&D campaigns and he would just improvise it. He basically just like got a bunch of random maps and just had a random name generator, and literally everything he just made up on the spot, and it was fantastic. He was really good at it. And that's the best DMs are the people who can like improvise without like missing a beat and like keep everything straight in their head. But like that's the thing, is like you either have to be good at that or you have to treat it like a choose your own adventure book where you're like, okay, I need to like think of every branch that this could go into. Like when this happens, what are like the like all of the options I can think of? And then you need to be That's the thing, is that the best thing would be to have a combination of both, because you need to realize, like, even all those options, your players are going to come up with some other stuff probably. So you have to be
Right,
ready
right.
to work with that. So you just got to be prepared is the thing. Like that's pretty much it with the DM. Just be prepared.
God, this entire discussion honestly makes me want to just walk down to the local comic shop and just play some fucking D&D.
Yeah, go for it.
Because like I have not done that 2 fucking years, almost three, probably 2 or 3. I have no fucking clue. But like, oh god, like that. Let me tell you, that person that I was playing it with,
Yeah.
um, podcast listeners, I'll have to describe like the batshit insanity that convention was. But I was not happy during that
Yeah.
convention at all, as Iggy can attest to.
Yep.
And
I don't
when I
blame you.
had this guy just sitting there, like being a really bad DM, I killed my own teammates, like out of nowhere. And like my teammates thought it was hilarious, but the DM was fucking furious. Like he was so fucking to the point where he said, "Never play this with us again."
Wow.
It was fucking great, and it's even better because I've never seen him again because I don't live in Seattle, so I don't fucking care. But like, oh
Exactly.
god, it was great.
Okay, so
So
that's pretty much it for my business focus. Is I'm just trying to relax.
he's just chilling and relaxing, and he's having fun. And you know what? Actually, it's good to relax at times.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to
Because if
say.
you're just
Is
sitting there barreling through life, like you're never gonna have that part of time to like think and do anything good. There's a really good book out there I recommend everyone read. It's called the Happiness Equation.
mm-hmm.
A guy named Neil Pasricha, I think his name was. I can't remember his exact story, but like I think it was like he's worked at Walmart in like every fucking position from like, just low level cashiers straight up to like top level executive things. Like
Oh,
he knows every fucking, like thing of just how people work and stuff like that, and what makes good team members work. And the number one thing that makes good team member work is happiness. But anyway, that's not what I want to talk about here. What I talk about is I want to talk about how having space is good in relationship to just sorry, not in relationship, but versus sitting there barreling through life like I'm not gonna take any breaks. Fuck this shit. It's kind of like he gave was I can't remember the guy's name, but who was the guy who discovered that like mass you can measure mass by like putting something in water or something like that. Do you remember who that was?
crap. Not Galileo.
Fuck, I don't remember it either. I should know this. This is like elementary school shit right here.
Yeah.
Fuck. Abe, though, is that he made this discovery not while he was sitting there barreling through experiment after experiment. He made this discovery while he was taking a bath. And what made him discover this is he literally just set foot in his bath and like the water went up.
Yeah.
That's all it was. And he was like, "Oh my god, that's it. Boom, that's it." And it's like there's more examples to this shit though. Isaac Newton, good example. The apple falls down from the tree,
Right.
and he was like, "Oh my god, that's it. That's genius." There's actually been a couple diseases, not while they were sitting there barreling through, research after research, but when they took a break and actually got a chance to like analyze the shit that's going on. And what it is it's like, when you're doing something, you're not giving your chance like time to think and reflect. You're sitting there just in this drive of like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking do it. Yeah. And it's like when you're doing that, it's good because you're getting shit done. But it's like, unless you take a step back every so often and just sit down and realize and just maybe not realize, but you sit down, take a step back, and just try and put together what's going on. For all you might be barreling through shit, which is true. But anyway, that's not the business focus I want to talk about.
Right.
The business focus I want to talk about is about just unleashing your truly weird, bizarre self and just being completely honest with yourself. And, I've mentioned before in this podcast that I am currently suffering, like, I don't want to say I'm currently suffering big steps. I've had a lot of huge depressive episodes. I've had times where I've like ran like halfway across the country because, I'm scared and I want to run away and I want to hide. And then there's been times where I've like convinced myself that, I am someone who I'm not. And that has just completely destroyed me. I was thinking this a couple of weeks ago when I was talking with my therapist, but I mentioned that, like he asked me, when was the last time you were happy? And I was like, well, it was probably 4 years ago. 4 years ago. And he was like, what was going on then? And I was like, well, to be someone who I'm not. I wasn't pretending to be some ultra professional psychotic asshole. It wasn't pretending to do this, or this. This was the person who I was. Yes, I was not successful, but I was acknowledging the fact that I wasn't successful and I was working towards getting out of it. I wasn't, turning myself from like some crazy, but like just think of me. Okay, think of me right now. So Iggy, I've kind of like rambled, and I have like a lot of energy and shit in this podcast. I think you'd say, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just take that away, and then what do you have? Like, it's not me. It's not fucking me. And that's the thing is like one of the things that's been driving me so crazy is I've been telling myself I need to be this super, just not necessarily positive, but like this super professional, this super dull, this super boring individual, because apparently it's the boring people who actually get up there and do things. It's the boring people who are remembered. It's the boring people who leave an impact on life. And that is the biggest bullshit I have ever believed. And I cannot believe that I have told myself and tried to get it in my mind that that's the person I need to be.
Well, here's
and
the
really
thing.
what this all
It's something that comes up a lot in performance, and many performers, once they get more successful, do like seminars and they do like teaching and all that. A lot of voice actors, the very successful ones, also do teaching as another revenue stream. And like I can think of multiple people like Kyle Cease, who's a comedian, and like Richard Horvitz, who played Invader Zim and was like the Billy on Billy and Mandy. Like the thing that they always bring up is when you were a kid, you didn't think about stuff. You just did it because you had a confidence and were sure of yourself. And then as you grew older, you gained inhibitions that stopped you from doing that. And in some situations, that's good because that prevents you from, being stupid. But the thing is, inhibitions really more than anything just kill your confidence, because the most successful people, like Steve Jobs, let's say, a weird example to bring up around you, but
it's damn.
They didn't fall into their inhibitions. They didn't care. Like they would just do the thing. Like what they say is basically like, if you're a kid and you're like at least for acting, it's like if you're a kid, and you're just like, I'm gonna play cops and robbers. You're not gonna be like, freeze. Was that good? Do you think that was good? I'm not sure if that was good. It's like, no, as a kid, you're just like, freeze, scumbag, fuck, whatever. It's like you don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just having a time.
Freeze, you fuckers.
Yeah, it's like that's the thing is you need to be like that. You just need to do the thing like you're a kid, and you just know that it's good, and you just have the confidence that it doesn't matter. You don't care because you're just having a time.
Yeah, I get it.
So anyways, let's this is running kind of long, but let's move on to our plans with our goals for the week. My goals are 80 Wars on Fiverr again. Gonna stick with that. It's a pretty happy medium. One Let's Play out, so I'm gonna do that Let's Play. I'm gonna try and do them like at least a couple a week, probably more. But for the time being, just gonna focus on getting at least one while I get other stuff set. Then the fiberglass sound treatment that I have been meaning to order, it ended up being, I thought it would only be like $70, but then apparently it was like $40 shipping because it's being imported. So it ended up being like a lot of money. But it's supposed to come in on Tuesday. And yeah, I'm going to get a bunch of fabric and I'm going to just vlog the whole installation, installation, and like show how I put it in and what my process is, and show me tearing apart my old thing and just kind of like do like a small FAQ about studio stuff, because I get a lot of questions about it and people constantly asking me to help them out, saying if there's studio stuff, and it's like, it's really simple, guys. It's like just basic research. Just go on YouTube and look up studio building. I just love videos about like building studios and stuff. So I just learned a lot through like watching those. So just
You should just
do
send him a link
that.
to let me Google this for you website.
Basically, yeah, that's what most of my advice comes down to, is like, this is just stuff I Googled. You could Google it and find the exact same thing.
Yep.
So, what are your goals for the week?
Well, they're kind of the same as last week, but there's a couple of new things. So, I mean, I guess for the things for last week, I wanted to have daily drawings. I wanted to have character designs up on Instagram and Tumblr. I want to have my own website. I want to get a URL. I needed to redo my avatar. I actually technically succeeded this week in doing it, but I might just redo it again, because as fun as it is to have a Commodore 64 type thingamabobber, might be a little cool. I need to redo my social media approach, and then every day I need to do something positive.
Yep.
But I mentioned that an apartment or studio apartment or some shit. I think I'm going to be working towards getting myself one of those. So at the very least, even if I don't have one, I need to have somewhere that, I could at the very least know that's where I'm going to be going into. I mean, I need to find somewhere. I also guy how to program next week.
Mm-hmm.
He's a cool guy. He has a mental disorder though, and he literally believes he is the pharaoh.
Yeah.
He's
I
the
read
king of Egypt.
your post on Tumblr about him. He sounds like a crazy cool dude.
He's awesome though. Like, he is awesome. Like, I love him. So if you don't know, he is this guy, which I'm sure you don't know because I don't think anyone listening reads my blog, but like, his name's Mandel, and he's a really, really, really nice guy. But the thing is like, no one has ever given him a chance, because he clearly has a mental issue. But what stuns me though is he's clearly capable. Give him a puzzle or something like that, he knows how to solve that shit.
What I'd ask,
And
after reading like what you said about him, I'm really curious. You should like ask him to play Human Resource Machine, the game that's basically just like assembly programming, because I'd be really curious to hear how he approaches that game, because it is just like a sort of like abstracted fun way of just like, it's just programming, but it's like all like figuring out how to do certain functions with programming, and I'm just curious how he would like unravel those processes.
You're right, and I might actually do that because I'd be curious to see myself. Something that actually kind of blew me away is, he has had issues reading. And like, you give him a book, he has struggled. Like, he's a very slow reader.
Sure.
But what really blew me away is that I kind of asked him, I was like, Mandel, how do you read a word? And he was like, well, here's a word. It's the. And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, how come you know what the word the means, but you don't know had or something like that? And he was like, well, I mean, I just don't know. Well, I said, can you spell it? And he was like, HAD. So he could clearly spell. And then I was like, can you sound out the words? He was like, yeah. Ha. Had. Okay. Let's try. There's another word, and I think the word I used was a bigger word, and the word I used was quarter.
Okay.
Quarter, and I was like, okay. And he was like, can you sound this out? And first he looked at it and he was trying to sound out the whole word. And then I was like, no, just split it up into certain parts. And he was like, oh, okay. So like, I kind of drew a line through the word quarter, and he was like, quarter.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, didn't anyone teach you this? And he was like, no one taught me this.
Yeah, that's just a failure of our education system more than anything.
Exactly. And this is what's kind of blowing my mind, is it's like, I feel
that actually,
the biggest issue with him.
That actually reminds me of because like that's something that I realized they never really taught in school, and it was never really an issue for me because it just came naturally, and it's something that I don't know, I've just always had a head for words like that. Syllables, like really, they don't teach syllables. I remember in creative writing class, like them teaching us like haikus, or like there's another form of Japanese writing that's similar to a haiku. But it's like just like watching everybody have these meltdowns of trying to figure out how syllables worked. and like them being like, well, you kind of like clap along and it can kind of help you. And it's like, just say the word. Why is this so hard for them to like literally, or let's use that as an example, literally just say it slowly and like staccato like that. And it's just like, there you go. Those are the syllables. Like you have to use the syllables to speak. So just like say the word slowly and just notice where it naturally breaks up in your mouth. And that's it. Like it should come clearly, but like I guess it doesn't come naturally to a lot of people. And it's something that they just kind of ignore when teaching people how to read. So a lot of people
Yeah,
don't understand
absolutely.
that concept. And but
Well,
it's
for
like
me,
in like it's
they
more obvious in
kind
stuff
of
like
touch base
Japanese
on
and
it.
stuff where it's like instead of letters, syllables are the like characters.
It's actually kind of reminds me of a lot of these Asian languages like Japanese, Korean, or Chinese. Actually, Chinese is a great example. So you know how Mandarin is apparently supposed to be like one of the hardest languages in the world, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's only the writing.
Yeah.
Is actually one of the easiest languages in the world to learn. Easy that I think it was an actual statistic put out by the Chinese government or something like that, where they had like it was either like a 20th or a 30th of actual people in China have no fucking clue how to read, but they know how to speak it perfectly because it's such an easy and just adaptable language.
Yeah.
But anyway, kind of off topic, but it kind of it's like I guess to bring this back to English and stuff like that. It's like I don't know. So it's actually interesting you bring up the education system because I agree with you. I feel that what's going on with Mandel isn't necessarily he has disability. He clearly has a disability. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I don't feel. I feel what's holding him back is that no one has given him a chance because they
Exactly.
just give up on him the second they see him. And for me, personally, growing up, I was God. So like, as my parents were divorced. I was, like I'm active in the church now, but like growing up, I did not believe it at all. And when you are in such a religion about like family and stuff like that, and yours just falls apart, it drove me insane. And I was homeless on top of it, but the school system did not know how to deal with that, so they just threw me in special education for like grade sixth to like grade 12th.
Hmm.
And let me tell you right now, something I actually learned in that was that most people in special education really don't need to be in special education.
Yeah,
They
no.
need something else. But what it is the school system, whether it be the teachers, whether it be something else, have the resources or they just don't want to deal with it. In my case, they just didn't want to deal with it. So they just threw me in with a bunch of other kids and like God, let me tell you, the special education system in schools, by the way, is fucking, especially public schools, joke. Like, I actually specifically remember one of the teachers that I had did not give a shit about her kids, and she would routinely call the kids in her special education class fucking retards who are gonna spend the rest of their life like in a fucking like psych ward or some shit.
Wow.
Like, and that's honestly that's another thing. That's another reason why I'm a little bit scared to like live a normal life because that's what this fucking asshole would always tell me. But you know, I don't know. The school system's busted. I don't like it. And I actually went to college to become a teacher.
Hmm.
And then I ended up dropping out after talking with like a lot of psychologists and stuff like that, trying to figure out why it is the American education system's so fucked. What I ended up finding out is that it's not necessarily the system as much as it's the culture that we have in America. We are one of the few countries that will erect schools specifically so we can put in sports stadiums. And there's nothing wrong with sports. I don't get me wrong. I love sports. I'm trying to fucking go into the fucking Olympics for Christ's sake. But like that education in general, it's not being taught right. I feel that there is I think that I don't know how to say it, but to say this. Next week I'll figure out how to say this because like I want to say something really powerful here. I just don't know how to say it right now. Let's that for everything I wanted to say.
Okay. So let's go on to our quarterly goals. So I've gotten about half of my audio upgrade together now. I have the sorry, I'm very tired still. The sound treatment coming in. Yes, the sound treatment is coming in, and then the other part of it, whatever it was, I don't recall honestly. But yeah, I just need now a new mixer, which I'll probably get next, or actually probably get the microphone next. So I'm planning on getting the MXL 990 and then eventually the Cat E100S. And I was so mad because I get emails from this site called Massdrop, and the idea is that if you buy things in bulk, it will be cheaper. So the idea is that people will pledge that they will buy something, and then so the site basically negotiates it so that if a certain number of people on these different tiers, like for numbers of people will like commit to buying something, the price will drop. They had the Cat E100S, exactly the microphone I wanted to get, and it was dropped all the way to $299 from $649. Fantastic deal, but guess what? I don't have $299 right now. That's like, well, I do, but it's like literally exactly what I have because I have money still coming in from Fiverr, so it's like I can bankrupt myself for this mic and then overdraft when like my bills come through in a few days, or I could just let it go and just save up for the full priced one. Or get a used
Let
one.
It Go song.
Just sad.
Let it go, let it go. I don't remember the rest of this fucking song.
It's not worth remembering. So then,
really a very forgettable song. So.
Yeah, I plan to update my demo and my Fiverr intro video and to release that EP I've been talking about forever. But I'll probably wait on the EP until I'm waiting on those last three until I get the audio upgrade set up so that I can use the audio upgrade with them because it will make everything much better. So your quarterly goals?
Well, God, the end of the quarter isn't just a couple weeks, isn't it?
No. The quarter is through September right now. So.
Okay. Well, obviously there's the apartment thing. And just really getting myself in order. I want to get myself a Surface Book because that would be extremely useful for the shit that I want to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get my ass in shape, and then I should have at the very least something going as far as YouTube related shit. And when I mean something going, I mean something that I can actually like show people and have people who just don't, follow animation or follow production actually know what the fuck is going on here.
Right.
Because I mean, like, I could throw out scripts, I could throw out animatics, I could throw out character designs, I could throw out voice acting lines, but like, unless something is complete, normal viewer is not gonna have a clue what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. In
fact, that's actually my big issue with a lot of like online-based creators who just routinely throw out like animatics and stuff like that. Like that shit's, no offense, kind of boring to watch.
Yeah. They
really are. They're not polished. They're a lot of times, not only are they not polished, a lot of times they have voice acting lines that aren't even like, finalized.
I'm so sick of it. I hate that every animation now, there's so many that just show such great promise and look awesome, but they're just like, they're never going to be finished. And then there's the majority of them, which is like, this is my animation from this like podcast clip or this Let's Play clip. And it's just like keyframes or not even keyframes. It's just like storyboards. And they're like, this is an animatic. It's like, it's not though. Those are like, that's not what an animatic is. First off, and second...
An animatic is something that you like. If there's any potential animatic listening to this, an animatic is something you don't show to the public. An animatic doesn't even have to be really good. It really all an animatic is pretty much like a placeholder for you to be able to put in like the main thing in. And if you're just openly throwing animatics out, you're pretty much openly throwing unfinished out there, and that looks unprofessional as shit.
It wouldn't be a problem, but that's like. A lot of people do that and then like that's it. That's all they put out. They don't plan to put out any more than that animatic and they just drop it and it's like that's just so depressing that they can't just finish something. Meanwhile, there's
No, I
like
get
great
it.
animators who actually finish it. It's so refreshing to see somebody like Gritty Sugar, who's just making like Game Grumps and like Jacksepticeye animateds and stuff, but they're like actually fully fleshed out and like it's like fully colored and finalized, and it's so nice. There's lip sync.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my rant about just
Well, no, I get it
animation.
because I have very similar rants to just all this shit out there. Like, God damn. Like, let me tell you, I remember when I was in something called Stable Tech Studios with
Mm-hmm.
you in it, and I like they would always be all like we're gonna show the animatic, we're gonna show the anime. I'm like no.
Please no.
And then like every time you'd say like no, do something else, they'd always get like all aggressive with you and be all like, but we've worked so fucking hard on this.
No, they hadn't.
No, they didn't.
Nope.
Anyway. Anyway.
Anyways, so future projects. I mentioned gonna be doing those Goosebumps cold reads, where I just do like a chapter of Goosebumps a day for my warm up. So I'll just start recording them and polishing them slightly. But I'm gonna start posting those up. Monday. Monday's gonna be the start. I'm gonna set up the Tumblr that I'm gonna like post them to. I'm gonna post them to Tumblr and probably post them up on SoundCloud and such. But yeah, gonna start doing those on Monday. So, y'all can go and check that out if you enjoy Goosebumps.
Out, I guess, even though I've never read a Goosebumps book once in my life.
Most of them are terrible, but there's a handful that are pretty okay.
That's kind of what I figured. I remember as a kid, someone was reading a Goosebumps book, and it was like one where like this girl becomes a giant chicken monster or some shit.
Yeah,
I
chicken,
remember.
or what was it?
I didn't fucking know, but like I just saw the
Chicken or
fucking like
something? I don't
cover
remember.
image of that, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
That was actually one of the better ones because it was kind of like Black Swan.
With a giant chicken.
She got gypsy cursed, dude. It was like body
A
horror
giant
stuff.
chicken with a human face.
Well, it was like, okay, that was on like the cover, but it's like she like messes with like some Roma lady, and then she's just like cluck cluck, and then throughout the book she's just slowly turning into a chicken, and it's just like body horror stuff, and it's awesome. That's one of the better ones. I think I have it here, but like it's around the corner, so I'm not gonna get up and grab it. I think I said it last episode, but like I got like 43 of them from Goodwill, so now I have all but like a dozen. Some of them are reprints too. I want to get the first editions, and a lot of them are like, this is Jeffrey's, and they have like Sharpie on them, and like the cover's all torn up, but it's like, that adds to it. One of them, it makes me kind of happy. It has that little sticker that you'd have in your school library so that like this one gives you this many points in your reading program. And it's like, yes.
Oh, that reminds me. There's this one antique store in Baltimore, but like they sell more than just antiques. They also sell like weird vintage shit.
Okay.
And they had like these coloring books from like the 1920s.
Oh.
Used. So I mean they're really cheap, but it's like you just go through them and like you could tell some kid in the 50s wrote like shoe.
Wow.
Reason on like the upper right hand corner, and then you scroll through it again. There's like a hi mom written there as well. And it's so stupid, but I loved it.
Right?
It's like it's kind of like when you go into a bathroom stall and then everyone's written on the fucking like wall and shit.
Oh yeah, fucking bathroom graffiti is the best shit in the world. You know you're in a good fucking bar when they just let people do graffiti, so it's just covered in nonsense.
Oh god. So it's completely off topic, but I feel like saying this because I thought it was fucking hilarious. In Wilmington, Delaware, they have this really ghetto bus station. But like you go into the men's bathroom and they have like all this like really shitty like wannabe gang graffiti on like the bathroom stalls and everything. And I had a bunch of stickers and on them. Van the brand.
Right.
Joking generic brand that I found off of Seth Rogen's Twitter, and he provided a link where you get like stickers and shit. And like I'm just gonna cover this entire fucking wall with Van stickers. And I did. It took me half an hour. That I was like in there taking a shit for half an hour, but I was like, I'm gonna fucking do this anyway. And so I just did it. And I remember as I fucking left, this 13-year-old boy walks in, and then I remember him screaming, "Who the fuck covered my graffiti?" He just leave.
Oh boy.
It was great. So anyway.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on to the moral of the episode to close this out. So, my moral of the episode is be more well rested next time you want to record a podcast. That would have been a good idea to listen to that one.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one. I guess it's my turn now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very good quote in the book I was talking about called The Happiness Equation. And that quote goes along the lines of, quote, "I am convinced that life is 10% what happens and 90% how I react to it."
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is true. I mean, there's so much going on that we have no fucking control over. All we really can control is how we react to it. And how we react to it is, that's going to determine our actions. So, I mean, like, if you want to get somewhere, don't focus all your energy on getting pissy and angry at something like I've been doing. How can this change? And then go from there. So
Perfect. So
that's that.
That'll do it for this week. Thanks, everybody, for listening in. And I promise I will have sleep before we record next. Goodbye.
So bye, everyone.
Our Road to Success is a Just Fall production, created under a Creative Commons Attribution and Share-alike license. This means you can use any part of the show in any way you like, as long as you credit Iggy Kid, Christian Hansen, and Just Fall Productions, and make your product just as accessible. You can find Iggy Kid on Twitter at DapperJackery or on Fiverr at fiverr.com/IggyDKid. You can find Christian Hansen on Twitter at ChrisHansen1994 or on Instagram at Instagram.com/ChristianHansen1994. Our Road to Success can be found on Twitter at OR2SPodcast, on Facebook at Facebook.com/Our Road to Success Show, through email at OurRoadToSuccessShow@gmail.com, or on SoundCloud at SoundCloud.com/OR2SPodcast. That's it for this week on Our Road to Success. Remember that everyone has their own road. We know you'll find yours. Happy trails!